Hi, and welcome to an RPM Telco webinar. Today we're going to be looking at the agent login from the agent's perspective. Now, as an agent, you might have been given a RPM login from the TSDs you work with, or maybe some partners that just want you to log in, look at your own commissions, maybe look through some orders and things like that. And this webinar is really going to be guiding you through how to use the login, navigational tools, and kind of some basic things. And then we're going to dive into some more complicated things regarding the login itself, what you can do with the login, custom reports you can build, and so you can get everything out of your agent login. Now, to give you some background about RPM Telco, you may not know too much about us, or you may know a lot about the software already and you're just using it as an agent login and you want to know more. Either way, to kind of explain the background of our software, we are a commissions calculation tool that is primarily focused in the telecom commissions channel. So we help our subscribers calculate their commissions, and in most cases, that is more than likely why you have an agent login to log in, so you can see the commissions assigned to you, check your commission rates, check how many items are it may be incorrectly assigned to you or incorrectly paying out. So we offer kind of the tools to do that. And as well, we also offer some project management tools that track things like orders, opportunities, quotes, things like that. And depending on your TSD or the partner you're working with, they can give their agents, sale partners, access to their RPM and log in and check those commissions and things like that. So that being said, this agent login here, and I'm going to jump into my RPM here. So this is like an agent login. It is a limited login for your sales partners or for your agents. Once you have a direct subscription with RPM Telco, you can create these logins, and then your agents can log in and look at these summaries or commission histories and things like that. So the very first thing I'm going to start with is just pointing out that this is the first page you'll see when you log into RPM as an agent. Now, it has your navigational tools on the top left here, highlighted on the left with this little drop-down menu. And then you'll also have this RPM Telco logo at the very top. And then you'll have the TSD's logo or your partner's logo at the very top here. And if your TSD or partner wanted to include your logo, or if they asked you for your logo and it was given to them or whatnot, they can also have your logo as the agent or sale partner show up at the top here. So that being said, you can click this top button here to always come back to this dashboard here. And this dashboard is completely customizable, not by yourself, but by the TSD or sales partner, whoever that owns the actual RPM subscription. So they can customize the dashboard to fit whatever they would like their agents or their partners to see when they log in. So your dashboard might not look exactly like mine. So we're not going to be using the dashboard as a main navigational tool in this kind of demo here, but I am going to be talking about it so you can kind of get the feel for it. So these buttons here will link to different things inside of the subscription. And if you have access to it, it'll show up on this dashboard and you can click it. Most of the times they're pretty descriptive. So like, for example, start an order. This is my example here where maybe a TSD would give you access to create an order request. So you can click this and it'll take you there, or you can click view orders. It'll take you to a list of all of the orders you've submitted to a TSD or whoever owns this RPM subscription that is giving you access. The main things that will be found in most dashboards is the summary, items and referral items, accounts, this kind of view right here. And this is kind of your most important one, as well as this one here where it tells you the last run that was closed and the amount that was billed to your agency. Or not billed, the amount of revenue, I guess, or amount charged to the customer shows up there. But yeah, so the main thing you want to look at here, especially when you log into one of these agent logins, is you want to check your commissions. So you would be going to do that by either clicking on summary here or clicking on this March 2023 run, and this would say whatever run was closed most recently by the TSD. But if you have none of these on your dashboard, the very last thing you can always rely on is this top left menu here, and using this as your navigational tool is always 100% guaranteed to be there. So if nothing else, you should always go to the top left menu and kind of familiarize yourself with each of these buttons here. So the most important one is this commission one here. You give that a click, it'll take me to my commission summary. Now in this commission summary here, I have 3 different agencies that wrap up under my agent user. In most cases, you'll more than likely only see one agency, which is your own agency or your own company. And in which case, instead of showing you all 3 of them here, it would just show you, for example, this. So once you click commissions, it might bring you directly to your summary here, which will just show you the total amount of commissions that are assigned to you, the referrals, payouts, things like that. And yeah, so from here, you can download your information from Download All Data. This would give you an Excel export of all of the commission items assigned to you in just like a row by row basis, or you can download Summary, which will give you a export that has pretty much essentially what you see on here, a breakdown of your commissions by these categories: supplier, customers, products, or adjustments. So all you have to really keep in mind is if you wanted an export of your commission data, Download All Data is the most detailed report you can get out of RPM, and Download Summary is kind of more of a summarized report. So from there, if you wanted to just view things in RPM as well, you can do so by clicking around in this view here. At the very top left here, you can see your total number of items by clicking on that, and it'll take you directly to your items report. So on your items report, you can see every single one of your items here, the products, the account number, the customer it falls under, and all that stuff. And you can also download it from here as well. So you don't have to, well, this is more clicks to get to here, but if you were looking at this and you decided you wanted to download it, you can do so from this page as well. If you wanted to, you can also click into the item itself. Clicking into the item itself can give you a little bit more information, a little more condensed, specifically focused on this one line item. So here you can see this from like AT&T. It's paying us out based off of our pay plan of 30%. And yeah, so from there we can go back to our commissions. There's one more thing I want to show you is if we click on our summary again, you can also break it down by, say, these filters here. So if we go by like customers, we can also click items under a specific customer. Right, so this would break it down by just items under this customer right here, and then it gives us our commissions and all that stuff. We can modify these filters and build a little custom report here. But in terms of like item reports, this is all pretty basic, and you might be wondering, how can I get even more in depth? And you might also be noticing that your items report is only ever for 1 month. So at the very top left here, you can switch the months. And I'm going to also be going back to the top left menu, going into commissions again, back into the summary to show you. So we can switch the months from, say, January, March, February, and the amount of runs you would have available at the top left here will be entirely dependent on how many closed commission runs that your TSD or your partner has closed for you and assigned commissions to you in. So you might have exactly the amount of months you're seeing in here, or you might not have all of them. It might mean that the partner you're working with doesn't have them all uploaded, or it could just mean that you've only started working or getting paid commissions from this point in time forward, or that kind of thing. It could also, if you're sometimes seeing like gaps in months, it might just mean you didn't get any commissions for that month. So if you see a gap from like January and then there's no February and it's just March, that's just why RPM is only going to show you data in months where you're actually assigned commissions. So you can jump around there, and when you download the report, it will download it for the specific month you're on. So if I hit download all data here, and I'm in January, it'll give me the January report, versus if I was in March and I hit download, it'd give me the March report. Now, you might be wondering, how do I get reports or views, or we call them views in RPM, reports about things that are kind of combining multiple months together. So you can do that with your agent login from the top left menu into customers. So you can't do it per like item per se, so you can't combine all of your items reports into one big report and export it that way. You kind of have to just download them month by month. But if you wanted to maybe run like some billing variance reports, you can do so through this view here. Again, it's from the top left menu, customers. And from here, you can build it from customers as well. So if you are customer focused and you want to say, show me my commissions from my customers from all the months that I have, you can add the view here and do that. But I'm going to show you it on account because I find account a little more detailed, a little more pertinent to most reporting needs. So I'm going to click this accounts tab here, and it's going to switch the report over from the customer only level to more of a account number based focus. So this is going to list out all the accounts you have commissioned with or commissioned on over the lifespan of this agent login. So from here, it just lists out the basic account, supplier, customer. And of course, this report's not too useful. I mean, it still is useful if you want to see all your account numbers from all time, but you can make this even more useful by clicking this little view here. And there's built-in views that I want to talk about. There's billing variance and missing accounts. So if we give billing variance a click, this will just pull up all of your accounts that have been commissioned, but then I'll also line them up within the last 2 commission months. So net billed previous run versus net billed this run, or sales commission from the previous run compared to this run. So you can kind of see a 2-month variance on all of the accounts you have or are getting commissioned on. So from here, you can kind of run just like a soft investigation saying, oh, why did this drop down $2,000 for whatever reason? And from there, you can click into the account number. You can go history or view items if you wanted to see the details. If you clicked history, you just kind of get the full history of that account again. So March, February, January in this example. But if you had more, it'll list them all here. And then if you wanted to really dig into it, you can go view items. And I just went back a page there. So if you go view items, you can then see March, February, January up top again, but then you can get the line by line breakdown. You can kind of go, oh, what happened in February? Oh, in February I had 5 line items and my commission rate was a little lower, whereas in March my commission rate went up, but the line items might have got condensed, or I just got less line items for whatever reason. And yeah, go from there. So from there, there's also back into the top left menu, customers, and then back into accounts. We can then go back to the billing variance, go to the missing accounts view here as the second kind of built-in report. And this report's pretty simple. It just shows you the accounts that were paying last run but are no longer paying in the current run. So this is a good report just to check to see if accounts dropped off. Now, accounts can drop off for a whole bunch of reasons, but this kind of just puts them front and center for you to start an investigation with, or if you happen to already know just by looking at the account number why they dropped off, that's totally cool as well. Yeah, so those are 2 built-in reports that we have in all of the agent logins inside of RPM that you can leverage right away without building a custom report. If I go back to my all report here and I go add a view, I can then create even more custom reports if I needed something more tailor fit to a certain report that I need to generate or something like that. So we'll go custom report in this case, and we can name it whatever we like. And we create this report, and then we can add the columns we need or add filters to report. So let's say, for example, I only want to see things that were under a certain supplier. So I can limit it to, say, AT&T. And then I can add columns in here. I also want the total commissions that I've received all time on these AT&T accounts. And I can hit OK, and it would generate this report for me. And then this report would always be saved by clicking the top of all my reports again. I can see my saved reports up here. So AT&T accounts, custom reports, those are my 2 custom reports. And anytime you need to access them again, you can just come back into this page, go to your reports list, and pull it again. And of course, there's also the download button you can find on the far right. You can always pull these into an Excel if you ever need them for whatever reason. Maybe you want to create a pivot table or something like that. You can do so. Yeah, so that's how you create custom reports in RPM. And you'll, anytime you see this gray view bar with the total number at the top here and accounts and all that stuff, you can very quickly create your custom reports on those pages and kind of leverage RPM's reporting capabilities, create something a little more custom. Now, a few things to cover before we jump away into something else here is that the filter option here, it allows us to put like a quick filter on all of our report. So if I wanted to kind of pare this down a little more, I could be like info. I can maybe do accounts that were added in the past year, or let's just do year in the 1 year ago. And just like that, we filtered out all of our accounts. So no accounts were created in the last year, so it gives us none. But that's just showing you how you could leverage the quick filter. Instead of having to jump into a view edit, you can just add a filter directly to a view, which makes it a little easier if you wanted to slice things up on the fly, for example. So we can clear that out, bring us back to our normal report, and that kind of covers it for custom reporting. But from there, we can also click this little at or by rep box here, and this just gives us a breakdown of which customers were assigned to which reps. And in most cases, you would more than likely have just the reps in your agency. But in this case, I have 3 agencies that I'm managing as an agent user. So I can see multiple reps from different agencies in my list here, and list out their agencies here, for example, and then the customers they've been assigned. And you can see that there can be multiple reps assigned to one customer if there's like referrals or things like that. Yeah, but that's just a quick by rep report if you wanted to see customers assigned to certain reps. All right, and then the last thing we want to talk about is if I go to the top left menu into processes, this is a list of processes that your TSD or your partner or whoever has given you access to with your agent login. Now, what a process is to us, or at least to RPM, is it's like a customizable business template that's kind of used to solve business problems. So in most telco cases, it's used to house and track orders. So if I click on orders here, and your list might differ from mine, you might have nothing in your process list, or you might have orders, opportunities, things like that. It really depends on what is allowed by your RPM parent, I guess is one way to say it. So you'll notice this also has a custom view bar, so you can create customizable views on the process side of RPM. And then this will list out each of your separate orders. So in most cases, you're probably entering orders with your TSD, and they could be through email or they could be directly through RPM, and you're entering them that way. But however they end up in your TSD's RPM, they'll show up in here if they allow you access to see them. So if you have orders that you're working on with your TSD and you want to check their status, this is how you do so. You'd go to the, again, top left menu, processes, into the orders, and you can kind of check which orders you have ongoing or are commissioning and things like that. Depends on what data or, again, TSDs give you, but in most cases, you'll be able to just see your own orders and maybe dive into them. If you click the number here, you can dive into the order, see files that are attached, see certain fields that they've given you access to, the order MRC, things like that. And then from there, if this order ended up billing, you're likely to see like the account number on the order. You can click the account number, see the commission history, things like that. So you'll be able to jump around using these hyperlinks that link to certain referenced parts of RPM that will help you navigate and things like that. So from there, you might be able to add certain files if that's requested from you, like say the contract or miscellaneous emails between you and the customer if that is requested. You'll also be able to add certain notes, and there could be processes in place for you to make request to your TSD, in which case it would be different by TSD to TSD, so I don't want to speculate on how that workflow is going to work. But basically, this is the navigation for how to navigate an order. If you wanted to, say, change things in here, you can go info and you can edit, and the fields that they allow you to change will be editable. Fields that they don't allow you to change would be not editable, if that makes sense. So from there, you might not be able to change as many fields as me, but you'll be able to kind of come in here, look at things. Maybe they'll have a notes box for you to fill in some notes, add your side of the story on the order, or things like that. And then sometimes you'll also be able to start your whole new order and create a whole new order, which would be like an order request that somebody on the TSD side would look over after you enter it. And yeah, so if you need to start new orders or start any new form in RPM, the start button's right there. If we go back to the top left menu, we go the processes. Sometimes you have the option to start it here, and then if you click into orders again, you'll have the option to start it here as well. Now, if we click back into the home menu, and more than likely you'll have those process links as dashboard widgets on your dashboard. So if your TSD is very adamant about you managing that your orders or checking your orders, and this is how you do it, you'll likely have a shortcut on your dashboard to be able to see these things. And yeah, you also have actions. So if the TSD was to assign you certain actions at certain stages, they would show up here, and you might also get an email saying, oh, this order is up for renewal, please reach out to the customer to get that all sorted, or something like that. So from there, the kind of last thing I want to cover is the search bar. The search bar allows you to look up certain things inside of your RPM agent login as a whole. So if you were kind of iffy on looking something up and you only knew like a little bit of the customer name, I always recommend searching as vague as possible, although that sounds counterintuitive. If you don't know how to spell, or you're not certain, if you don't know how to spell the entirety of the customer name when you're searching it up, you might want to type it up like a little more vague. So for example, if I just type in Apple, it pulls up my customer Apple Aux, which I could have misspelt if I was to look up, like, if I thought Apple Aux was the full spelling of it, like Apple Auxiliary, for example. So if you go over detailed with your search phrase, you might not find what you're looking for. So that's kind of why I suggest it being a little more vague with your search. But this top search bar here in RPM is quite handy if you're not sure what you're looking for exactly, but you kind of know a little bit about it. You can just type whatever string you have in there and get pulled into whatever the search result is. Yeah, so this will search both the commission side of RPM and the order side. So a good place to start, especially since a lot of things in RPM are referenced. If you were looking for orders under a customer, you can look up the customer and then see if it's referenced in any orders. This referenced inbox here, which is super handy just to see, hey, how many orders do I have under this customer? How many accounts are related to this customer? And if I click on accounts, for example, it would take me to the accounts page of this account. And then I can from there see, oh, these are the orders that this specific account is referenced in. So you can really drill in deep and see which things are connected in RPM. And most things will be connected in RPM, assuming they all connect via the order level. And you'll be able to kind of run your commission inquiries or do your research using the search tool and things like that in your RPM subscription. So yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about is, you've seen the agent login with the RPM subscription, and you might be wondering, oh, this is great. I like how it's tracking my commissions and all that stuff, but I also have commissions from a whole bunch of different sources, and I'd like to get it all in one place. That's kind of when you would sign up for your own RPM subscription. So not to sell it too much to everyone on this webinar, but I just wanted to cover that you might run into situations where you have multiple RPM logins from multiple TSDs, or you might just have a bunch of different direct relationships with like suppliers or other TSDs that aren't using RPM, things like that. You want to aggregate it into one system. RPM is kind of built in a way that allows that to happen quite easily, so you can get your own RPM subscription, pull all the data in, and then do the customization as you want to for your own subscription. So yeah, if that's something of interest to you, you can reach out to us at support@rpmtelco.com. And thanks again for listening to this webinar. If anyone has any other questions or anything that you feel like I covered but you want more detail about it, please feel free to reach out to me at support@rpmtelco.com. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much, and take care.